Well, the Lance Lynn talk is heating up, and we mentioned Lance Lynn's name and connected that to the Cubs a couple of shows ago. Well, it looks like the 37, soon to be 38-year-old could be the next Cub. How would that work? What would that look like? We're going to get into that, and it's a good idea. Matt Shaw traveled to Japan, but does that mean he's going to be playing for the Cubs in Japan? Is he going to be the third baseman on opening night? Are we going to see him in action? I think he could be ready, and he could be ready for stardom. I'm going to give you a couple reasons why right here on the Cubs Baseball channel. Like, subscribe, thumbs up, and great to see you guys today. Thank you for being a part of everything we do, getting that comment section. I love the comments, by the way, and we'll talk some more today. Let's go. One day closer, baby. Go Cubs. What do you say, everybody? Mick Gillespie, Cubs Baseball Channel. Great to see you guys today as we talk about the Cubs and the latest news and happenings going on with the team right now as they're over in Japan, and they're having a good time. Saw Justin Turner acting as DJ, the guys wearing the traditional Japanese garb and, eating and having a good time, and that's what it's all about. And then, they'll take on the Dodgers middle of next week, and it'll be go time, and that's exciting. And that's what we've kind of been waiting for. Real baseball. It counts against the World Series champs. This is really fun, and I give Major League Baseball 2 thumbs up for putting this together. Putting the game on display, to me, is something that we were lacking, and we can complain a lot, and I have in the past, about some of the things that Rob Manfred has done since he's been in charge. But one thing that I'm going to tell you that I give the guy a pat on the back for is these events that showcase the game of baseball, because I feel like the game of baseball and popularity, I think a lot of us, it almost feels like we're kind of in our own world sometimes, because we love baseball, but when I was a kid, everybody loved baseball. Got to build that respect for the greatest game ever played back again. And the way to do that is to showcase it. And I'm talking about last year, I was at the Rickwood game in Alabama between the Cardinals and the Giants. First time ever a major league game that counted was played in the Yellowhammer State. The games in Iowa, the Field of Dream games, they're awesome. They count. You got the games they played at the Little League ballpark. They're playing a game in Bristol, Tennessee this year. Hey, take care of your own backyard first. But I got to tell you, these are great too. Playing games that count in Japan and in Mexico and over in Britain. You got to stretch the game in the markets that people haven't seen it yet. I'd love to see baseball in Ireland. I'd love to see places where they play cricket. One of my friends is from Jamaica, and he was telling me about, that playing cricket there. I thought, you know what, but maybe go there and play. What they're doing, showcasing the game world, internationally, around the world is great. And this is whatever happens in this game, or these 2 games, the real winner is going to be baseball, because we're over in Japan. And we've been there before, but over in Japan where they love the game, and we're also showcasing the two of the best brands in a place where they absolutely love baseball. It's going to be a great time. I'd love to, honestly, man. I'll tell you what, it'd be great to see some games played in the Caribbean. And I think they've done that before in Puerto Rico. It'd be great to see one in the Dominican. It would be great to see a game or 2 or a series in Venezuela. And I know there's a lot of stuff going on there, but the people in Venezuela are awesome. They love the game of baseball. Anywhere baseball is played, it would be awesome to see Major League Baseball do the same thing they're doing in Japan there. And for all you guys, and I know some of you are from Venezuela, thank you for being on the channel today. All right, look, the news right now is that Lance Lynn and talks of him joining the Cubs are real, and they are heating up. Now, nothing is set in stone yet, but when Bob Nightengale says that the Cubs are looking to strengthen their rotation depth and now have entered negotiations with veteran Lance Lynn on a 1-year contract, you better believe it. And we talked about this the other day. It was either him or what, Kyle Gibson, and it looks like it's going to be Lance Lynn. I've said it before, and I've heard from people that have been around them that he can be kind of a little bit hard to deal with sometimes, but you know what? He's got a strong presence. Maybe that's what this team needs. If the Cubs do sign him to a 1-year deal and he starts out in Iowa, might not be a bad idea. And I know a lot of people are going, hey, wait a second. We got Justin Steele. We got Shota Imanaga. We got Jameson Tyone. We got Matthew Boyd. We got Colin Ray. We got Jordan Wicks. We got Ben Brown. We got Cody Poteet. We got Caleb Killian. We got Cade Horton. We got Chris Flexen. I mean, you can go down the line, right? Of all these guys. About Javier Assad. Whenever he's back and feeling better, he had an oblique issue and he's been out of action. Or even Brandon Birdsell, who was someone that I think was going to make a push this year, had a shoulder problem and he's out. But you got a ton of guys that can start. And bringing in Lance Lynn is interesting to me just because, it's not like Lynn threw a ton of innings last year, but in the 117 and 2/3 innings, he did well. He had a 3.84 ERA. He had a decent strikeout rate. He's, his average velocity's down. But how many times have we said this? And I know I'm changing my tune a little bit on Lance Lynn, and it's not that I'm changing it on Lance Lynn. The other day, I'm like, hey, let's not do this. But if the plan is for Lance Lynn to go to Iowa, to stretch out, maybe goes to Arizona, kind of takes his time, and then when all of a sudden you got all these injuries, now you're able to kind of use Lance Lynn to help strengthen your rotation. Well, hell, then that might be different than, saying, hey, you got the 5th starting spot in the rotation. You can never have enough pitching. And I can remember Theo Epstein saying that, the years that the Cubs were contending for the World Series and after, he's like, look, you can't, it's not about 5 pitchers anymore. There was a year, 1971, where Baltimore, and I've said this before on here, they had 4 20-game winners in a 4-man rotation. Okay. Those days are over. The Braves probably had the best staff in my lifetime. When you talk about, Greg Maddux and John Smoltz and Tom Glavine, and then whoever else they threw in there with them, right? The Cubs had a great staff when they had Pryor and Wood, but, you could have used a few more guys like Pryor and Wood to try to reach the 4 20-game winners. Now they're talking about a 6-man rotation. So all of those things are important when it comes to having enough depth. This feels like, and I've said this from the beginning, it feels like there's a little bit of desperation in the air, more than just sense of urgency for this front office. And they're trying to do things with limited resources, and Lance Lynn could be one of those things. But the other part of this, and you got to be honest with yourself here, baseball, we're not the only ones that know that you can't have enough pitching. So that means everybody else knows that too. Why haven't they signed him? And there's teams that have had some pitchers blow out already. What are they going to do? I don't know. But at the end of the day, the bottom line is that it is an insurance policy. And, maybe it's one of those deals where if you bring him in and he doesn't do well, you move on from him. And if he does do well and you get something out of him and you needed him, you're not stuck in a spot where you got to keep starting Kyle Hendricks last year. Remember, I love Kyle Hendricks, but there was a point last year where he was awful, and their Cubs just didn't have any other options. So that could be it too. All right. So that's the first thing I wanted to talk about. Well, really the second. Now, the third thing I want to talk about is this guy right here, Matt Shaw. When he was put on the roster, I was going, are they serious about having Shaw? As far as, is he going to get an opportunity to play in this series in Japan? And I think the answer is yes. I really do. I don't think that he's just going out there to try the sake and some of the great food and maybe, copy Seiya Suzuki and take a samurai sword and cut baseballs in half. I think that they're legitimately going to put this guy in the lineup. I don't think he's, and we'll find out. I mean, I'm a week away, but I just feel like there's a lot of confidence in Shaw right now. And when you look at kind of they had the slow start to spring training. Maybe he hasn't had that many games, but look, he's 23 years old. He's a first-round pick. You tabbed him as the guy that you felt like was going to be your third baseman when you traded Cam Smith. The front office needs some victories with their draft picks. And Shaw hit .313 with 4 runs batted in 16 at-bats during spring. So, I think there's a good case to say, hey, man, why not put the kid in and see what he can do? The other part of it is that the defense is good and his eye is really good. And so when you put those two things in there with the way that he's playing right now, and the fact that you're bringing him over there, I think that kind of says, hey, we're going to stick with him. We're going to give him a chance. So Shaw could be ready. Look for him to be ready. Now, the last thing I want to say is I saw some of your comments about Keegan Thompson being DFA'd. I guess it's not official yet. Maybe the Cubs make a trade for him. As far as I understand, this is what's going to happen. I said yesterday, I like Keegan, good person. I hope he demands something back in return. But when you're out of options and you don't make the roster, that's what happens. So so we'll see. But anyway, love all of you guys. Love all of your comments. Thank you for being here. And I'm going to show you there again. There's the logo. I'm asking you guys every day, what do you want this logo on? If I did hats, would you wear them? If I did T-shirts, would you wear them? Polos? Do you want koozies, stickers, or do you not like the logo? Do you think it needs to be different? Let me know. Cubs Baseball Channel. Get in the comments section. Like, subscribe, thumbs up. Thank you guys again for being here. We're close to baseball, man. I can feel it. It's in the air. Just let's tilt back. Have a cold one in the bleachers and watch some baseball. Look, I'm excited about getting up early because I'll go to bed early so that I can get up early and watch baseball. Think about that. We're going to have baseball, real games, and they're going to be so early that, it's going to be, instead of a beer, we're going to need like coffee, maybe an Irish coffee. All right. Like, subscribe. As I said, like, subscribe, thumbs up. Thank you guys for being here. And we will talk to you again tomorrow as we get you ready for opening day. Go Cubs.